to another video where I go over the November 29th Decklists. Up to today we have black, red. I guess it'd be classified as Grixis Magma Opus. It looks like this deck is trying to really get to the late game and then potentially draw multiple copies of this card, creating treasures. You'll have Goldspan Dragon as well, some Planeswalkers. At least this deck, if you've watched any of the other videos, I've always talked about having some way to sweep the board, especially playing in the best of one format. You definitely want to be able to get rid of a lot of the little dorks and stuff that tend to get in the way. We have the combo here of Magma Opus or Creative Outburst and Draconic Intervention. So basically, you discard this, make a treasure, and then you're able to cast this by exiling either one of these. So it's either going to deal 8 damage or 7 damage to all creatures. It's all non-dragon creatures as well. And it also exiles as well. So we exile instant or sorcery from your graveyard, and then it deals damage equal to that card's mana value. So again, either one of these, it does quite a bit of damage, and it also exiles, and then you exile it, Draconic Intervention, so you can't use it again with something like Leer or something like that. This is one of the decks that really interested me, and again, it's one of those decks that you might see and you're like, I may not want to invest 4 Mythic wildcards into Magma Opus. Hopefully I actually get the opportunity to showcase this deck a little bit more. This deck is a little more reliant on like a combo sort of feel to it. You want to draw Draconic Intervention and then sweep the board and then basically get to the point where you have enough mana to start casting it and then start winning the game with multiple copies. Then you have Crackle with power when you get up to enough mana, and then you have Goldspan to really ramp into these big spells. One of the issues I find with best of one is your hand can get clogged up with these quite easily. This Crackle with power and the Magma Opus and Creative Outburst. Luckily, you can discard them for 2 mana and make treasure, so it's they kind of also act as a ramp to ramp you into other copies. Now, I will say the most glaring thing to me in this deck is the fact that there's no real card draw. So hitting your land drops, Grixis Opus here. So hitting your land drops is going to be very key. There's not really a lot that you can do. We have Prismari Command is probably our only card draw spell. We also have Divide by Zero, and I guess we have Expressive Iteration as well. Now, this deck will suffer from the fact that it cannot deal early on with permanents. So it really only has Prismari Command, Divide by Zero, and Soul Shatter to deal with some early threats. But then you also have this to come in and clean up and then hopefully get to some of your late game. So for this one here, I'll actually have to create the sideboard because there are some lessons. Let's see what's actually in here. Just move it over here. So the sideboard has teachings. I'm only going to add the ones that I care about. Again, I'm not doing best of 3. I'm only doing best of 2, or best of 1 rather. Environmental. So it's got 2. Excuse me. And mascot. So it's not really playing a lot. It's just playing 2 sciences, 1 teachings, and 1 mascot. And then it's playing Wash Away, Go Blank, and Dread Fugu. We'll just keep it at that for right now. Just that I'm not going to really add anything extra. I could add just maybe a few more of this stuff. Maybe I'll do this. Just so I actually have 7 cards. And it doesn't actually add anything different to the sideboard. This is one of the first decks that I've played so far that actually makes good use of some mana here. A lot of 4 Spring 25 lands, so 21 with 4 Field of Ruin. It's not using any of the other tap lands. It's just using these ones. These will generally come into play tapped, or generally come to play untapped after turn 2. So that's a good thing. And you also have this one as well. We have one copy of Valky. My guess here is it's not to be generally to be played on turn 2 unless you have nothing going on and you're playing against maybe blue-red and you just want some aggression. But this card seems to me like you want to hold it until you can get to 7 mana and then cast it for the Cosmic Imposter. So we'll play, like I said, we'll play best of 1. Save. Play a few of them, see how they play out, or see how this deck plays out. Where's it at? This one. Standard, best of 1. Just to get an idea of how this deck plays. I have a feeling that you could easily be overrun very, very quickly. One of the reasons I did want to try this deck out, it is one of the most diverse. So I cannot discard either of these. I have to mulligan because one of the downsides of playing too many Field of Ruin. Sure, and I get to put a Field of Ruin on the bottom. There. Okay. So now I need to basically draw the Draconic Intervention. So discard this, get the treasure token. Yeah. And the turn. Now I don't. I think I'm gonna do this and this. I'm gonna make a treasure token. So I can run out of Sorin. This is one of the matchups. Well, they're playing green as well, so Sorin's in a good matchup against these kinds of decks. What does this thing do? Attacks, put a +1/+1 on each creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. I think I'm going to wait. No attacks. End the turn. And I might try to create some tokens here. Yep. Sure. No blocks. Pass. Yes. That's fine. Make a treasure token. Now I can cast Divide by 0 here, but I'm not going to. Alright, that's good. Yep. What could they potentially have left behind? Not 100% sure, but we'll exile this thing. There we go. They all die. Again, that's kind of what you want. You kind of want to have the intervention. And you want to have something like that in your graveyard. So now I can start pumping out the Goldspan Dragons. And then hopefully get it to a point where I have enough mana for this. That's fine. So they had a land and that. Okay. Yeah. This is only one, so I can do it and discard this one as well to make another one, but I won't do that. There's not much point in doing that. Yay, good game. So there you saw again, having the ability to have a sweeper in a best of one matchup where you can kind of clean up the board. It's definitely worth it when you're playing a best one. I don't think you can play any type of deck that's mid-rangey, that's not all-out aggro, like the mono white or something like that. I would even suggest playing at least 1 or 2 copies of Doomscar if you're playing mono white, just because against like a mono green deck or something like that, it could you could play with the knowledge that you have Doomscar, so you won't need to really overcommit or try to go too wide. This one's okay. I can't really cast either one of these, but divide by 0 on the play is pretty good. Doesn't really matter, but we'll feign a counterspell. Sure. Okay. And the turn, now we have divide by 0 or discard Magma Opus to make a token. Get me to 5 mana for next turn if I want. I can also Soul Shatter if I want. Sure. Sure, mana cost reduced by 2. Okay. Yeah. I'll just discard this. Make a token. We'll put the Mesmeric Command in my hand. This can go back to the library, and this can be exiled. And then we'll play it and pass the turn. So now I can make another treasure token if I want to, or if I need to divide by 0 something. It's possible that I just want to get rid of this creature as well. Yep. We'll get environmental sciences. All right. I likely didn't need to do that, but so now I should have enough mana to kind of get myself there if I need to. Yep. I may want a Prismari command here. Sure. What is this? It's a cleric. Okay. I think to be mana efficient, we just do this. I could have done Prismari command as well, but that's fine. Play Sorin out. Play land, minus. Now the one thing about Sorin is you can't really ever draw Anything, especially if Magma, Opus, or Creative Outburst is on top of your library, it's quite a bit of damage. We'll hold up Counterspell. Okay. How do they cast? Oh, right. Sure. Okay. We're getting a little landlocked here. We'll attack. They can block if they choose not to. If they do, I'll kill it. Okay. Play a land, and we'll pass the turn again. Okay. So they're the black-white clerics. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to do with the end of turn, I'm going to hit this. I'll draw 2 and discard 2. I have 2 lands. Doink. And then doink. Still choose to save it if they want. Yep, that's fine. Phew. Alright. A lot of land. It's an instant, so I can wait. We will attack. We'll see if they decide to maybe have a bump spell or something like that. In which case I can respond. Okay. I'll let it go for right now. I can always respond. Okay. Sure. Okay. Mm-hmm. Um. It is possible that I want to take this. I think I'm going to take the dragon. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do this. Now, I still open myself up to getting stomped by the combo. I'll likely lose to the combo now anyways. There's not a lot I can do there. Okay. Okay. I have to get rid of the Faceless Haven now. There we go. That way they can't combo. All right. Mm-hmm. That's a good draw. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. That's precisely why I didn't do the sacrifice. I could learn and get the 7 mana cost spell. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3. I got 6 there. Or I do Sorin. I think I take this. And then end the turn. Mm-hmm. Could be hitting for Blood in the Snow. Blood in the Snow is not really going to get them anything back here. I'm going to wait because of Blood in the Snow. I don't want to overextend into it. Mm-hmm. I still have the ability to Draconic Intervention again. Okay. I only need to get rid of something that's 3 mana. They could sacrifice. Yep, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Well, if they drew the blood in the sand, then so be it. Or blood on the snow, rather, then so be it. I have to go in for the kill here before they get too far ahead. Yep. They can still draw, but short. Oops. What do you got? Goldspan Dragon. Need a way to gain life. I can block here. They're going to take 9, unfortunately. So I need to draw something that's going to do some damage. I've drawn. Okay. They are going to survive on 1 life. That is unbelievable to me. Two life. Yep. You have to block the 4. Yep. Or that's 2. That's fine too. You trade at least. Yep. 1 life. Wow. That is nuts. Yep. So, unfortunately, now I just lose to the combo. There's not a lot I can do about that. You need to use 3. Yep. Field of Ruin would be good here. No. Need a Field of Ruin. I can draw 2 cards, but we're going to wait. Short. The reason I'm continuing is they have the potential to gain a bunch of life. I won't call it yet because I have outs to the card. I just need to draw them. I'm not really, I only have 2, 3. I have 3 more outs to the card. Dun dun dun. You have to activate it and then try to protect it somehow. I don't know how. Maybe turning it indestructible, maybe? But I like this combo. And I think with the Field of Ruin being less played now, I think especially in Alchemy, I find it's played a lot. They're played a lot less. But are they just going to time me out? Nice. I mean, again, that's precisely why I didn't give up, because I knew I had outs. I knew there was a way to disrupt the combo. I don't know if I'm going to play another match after this one. This one kind of went to time pretty good. You got to see the deck. You got to see the deck in the first game, and then this one here as well. You got to see more of how it works. And obviously this person's annoyed that I was playing multiple copies of Field of Ruin. But you're also playing an annoying combo, so expect that to happen. Just concede, man. Like, you don't gotta... They're obviously pissed. They're like, oh, I'm gonna time it out. Look at me. Oh, my. D. I wonder if I... Can I hold and then... Nothing happens? I don't think I can, though. Yay! Alright, so you get to see this kind of deck in action. It's kind of fun. I like playing off beaten path decks like this. If you take a look at the deck list, here it is. There's not much I would change. Not for best of one. This deck seems like it was made for best of one. You rely very heavily on Draconic Intervention and very heavily on both of these cards as well. The one card maybe I would change is maybe Crackle with Power. Although for 5 mana it deals 5 damage to any target. It's probably the way you kill your opponent. Maybe replace the Valky with the Meathook Massacre as well, potentially. Never got to really see how that works. Everything else was pretty good. I don't know about 4 Soul Shatters. Potentially in a blue-red field with a lot of dragons. It's a good card. It's not really that great against Hullbreaker Horror. Because I can just bounce it back to their hand. But it is a way to kill it. So is the Draconic Intervention. This is one of the first decks that I've played so far in this series here, where there's a sweeper main deck. Most decks do not play one, at least so far that I've played. There's a couple of Meathook. There's I think one deck that plays one Meathook Massacre maybe. So you can see how good it is in those types of matchups where your opponent's going to play a couple of threats that, you know, you don't want specific answers to. You'd rather just have a sweeper that takes care of all of them, especially against decks like Mono White or Clerics or green, potentially, although green mass removal is a little bit weaker against green decks. They don't tend to need to run out more than one creature at a time. But there you saw the power of having instant speed interaction with my opponent's creatures. So while the sweepers are generally sorceries, and they should be, you can see the case against playing stuff like the 1 mana removal spell. I was always playing at one point when I first started playing Arena again during the standard format. I was playing Bloodchief's Thirst almost as a 4 of all the time, and I slowly started cutting back on it because I realized being able to cast it at sorcery speed is really not the best. And I started going with more Infernal Grasps, and then eventually I just cut that card altogether. It was just, I was getting stomped by too many things at instant speed. In that instance there, had they tried to activate Faceless Haven before I destroyed it with the Feel of Ruin, I could have interacted with it with Creative Outburst. So I think that showcased the deck really well. I wouldn't change too much. Like I said, maybe cut Valky for Meat Hook Massacre. It's also potential it doesn't need it either. So, but you can see the benefit of exiling as well. So even the 5 mana sorcery has potential here too. I think it's, I keep forgetting the name of it. Shadow's Verdict. Also a good card. Hits everything basically, you know. This deck here seems particularly well suited to the best of 1 format because you are going over the top with cards like these. Actually, Creative Outburst is surprisingly the better of the 2 cards, it feels like. Although I never really got to cast the hard cast this. I could have, but I never really got to hard cast it. But yeah, it seems like this is a pretty good deck for best of 1. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you later.